Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. Another Steelbook banger has been released. And you've read the title, you've seen the thumbnail, you know exactly what's about to happen. It's time to take one of the most important game mechanics and make it completely inaccessible. So say goodbye to shift key, cause ladies and gentlemen, it's time to answer the question of if it's possible to beat the entirety of Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic without running a single time. The rules? Pretty simple. We have to beat the entire game and get any of the 3 endings without running. So either rebind your shift key to some button you're never gonna use, or get rid of it entirely. Finally, I'd like to keep this run in the no major glitches category, so I'll try to stay away from game breaking glitches. Not saying that I won't use some of those glitches though. Also depends on when you're watching this, there may be some glitches that I won't know yet, so if you know any that aren't mentioned in this video, be sure to tell me in the comments down below. With that out of the way, let us begin. This one starts with watching the intro cutscene where we find out that we're playing as a grown-ass man who has worked 37 hours straight, which conveniently explains why we won't be able to run at all. Also, just like a normal job, we are working for someone who doesn't give 2 shits about us. Anyways, intro card.
There we go! Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. Sprintless.
Before we can exit our truck, we need to grab the grab pack. the data diver tool. Sorry, I always get those mixed up. Now get out your notepad and remember that trespassing and stealing is not illegal, and you should, in fact, enter your local convenience store at night and grab everything you can. Now once inside Edwin's costume manor, we get greeted by the man himself, as well as his awesome welcome show that is perfectly manufactured and never breaks. Following the red bright light, we enter what I call the main hub area of this game. We'll come back here often, but for now at least, we get our first objective, being to upgrade the data diver. You see, with the data diver we can open multiple types of doors and gates, but only if we have the right data diver permissions. At this time we only need the security upgrade, which is conveniently right here. With the help of said security upgrade, we can interact with the first puzzle, labyrinth, power source orange goop machine. Essentially, you just need to set up the labyrinth correctly so that the orange goop can flow from the entrance to the exit. If you fail to complete it within a timely manner, you'll be forced to restart. But since we're gaming gods, we won't have to do that. Now go back to the main hub and skip the dispatch voice lines, cause quite frankly, I don't give a shit. Oh, would you look at that? We unlocked the inventory pipes, which don't make sense because why can a little ass boy carry tons of shit but a grown ass man cannot use both his hands? Also, we finally get to know our main task for this game, which is to collect the Mimic's spicy photos. Either way, grab the hand crank and crank that soldier boy. Let's just hope there isn't anything inside this big, obvious box. Oh my god, it's a Mimic. He also knows that we're here to collect the spicy loot. Doesn't matter, just slowly back up and distract him with a convenient placed box of mice. Those mice can be wound up and used to make a sound to lure the Mimic with. Even if the Mimic does see you, you should be fine if you just run away. Yeah. Just don't let him see you. Little fun side note, the Mimic is currently being lured away by a sound. He won't hear or see you as good most of the time. Also, funnily enough, if you just sneak right beside him, he won't notice you at all. Someone get this man his glasses, cause how does he not see us? Anyways, once you're past him, go down this elevator and upgrade your data diver permission to engineer level. With that permission, we can finally call ourselves a true technician, which means we can grab whatever we want. No, would you look at that? It's Jackie. I sure hope the main face of most of the promotion for this game has a good chunk of screen time. Which game wouldn't do something like that? Finally, crank that soldier boy again and jerk that generator in the mail office. See where the first of many chase sequences begin. You know, chase sequences where you should run from the threat. After going up an elevator, we see Jackie and the platforms start falling down behind us, which quite literally is going to be the death of me. Jackie is pretty slow, but once we go up this elevator, it seems that no matter what we do, Jackie always jump scares us, or we fall down at one specific part. So what, as soon as the run starts, it's already over? Well, not quite. So even with perfect movement, Jackie always gets us. So what if there was a way to get ahead of Jackie? Well, I wouldn't be making this video if there wasn't a way around that. So with that, let me introduce you to lever storage. Dubbed quantum lever by the speedrunning community, but I don't give a shit. Anyways, it's an exploit I discovered myself. Now, what is lever storage? Well, Steel cannot stop the grind that is breaking their games. Essentially, lever storage is an exploit where we'll be able to access the levers no matter how far away we are from them, as long as they're still loaded in. So you see, this is possible because almost all of the interactable things in this game force you to use them with your mouse. So if you interact with a lever and walk back while your hand just barely touches the lever, the game thinks you're still holding onto the lever, but doesn't lock you in place. Now if you look up, the lever goes up. And if you look down, the lever will go down. Also, you know you've done it if you hear the lever moving even though you're not touching it. Which is only possible because Steel, again, does not lock the player in the interact screen. For Jackie's entrance elevator, you'll need to use lever storage to stand on the closing gate. Then walk forward on the sides of the elevator and start the chase a couple seconds earlier. Now Jackie instantly starts chasing you, which initially seems bad, but we can easily outwalk her. While we can outwalk the falling platforms at the start, no matter what we do, we cannot outwalk the stair hallway. You see, these platforms are the fastest falling platforms in the entire game. And if we could somehow get past that, there is a long hallway in which we can hide behind some packages and just watch Jackie chase literally nobody, making this hallway possible sprintless. But no matter what we do, we have to sprint on the bridge before, which sucks as an idea for this challenge, but I still wanted to see how many sprints it would take to beat this game. Skips for Jackie have been found already, but currently I think there's no way we can use them. I've tried for multiple hours to do a specific Jackie trampoline launch, or Jackie off, as in takeoff, where you get launched by wooden debris after getting found by Jackie, but unfortunately this skip cannot be done without sprinting, to my knowledge at least. It looks funny as fuck though.
It has always presented itself as an anthology. We are
What
only
the Also, don't click off yet, because there are still 3 more intense chase sequences left, along with multiple intense gameplay parts. And just a quick hint, but don't tell anybody this. There may be something we can do to skip this part, but I guess you have to stay till the end of the video to find out. Also, if you're wondering, the last part of Jackie's chase can be beaten without running. It's just that one single part. Now with tears in our eyes, pants full of shit, we meet back again with Andy Field the GOAT. Our objective now is to upgrade the data diver once more, by first resetting the welcome show, then entering the big top showroom. Also, if you hit this certain trigger during the welcome show restart, you skip the song entirely. Once in the big room, we need to repair the elevator. Apparently, we aren't good enough technicians, because to repair the elevator we need to know a specific code in order to access a repair tape. So either remember the code from your previous playthroughs, or go to Miss Helpy and let her tell you the code. Once you've collected the repair-matic tape, you'll need to fix the elevator and then enter the big top showroom. First up is the orange puzzle, which gives us 1 ticket to give to the Ticketmaster, or the big top. Objective now is to win the grand prize. To win the grand prize will need to be 3 separate mini carnival games. However, once you've beat a carnival game, all the power shuts off, which means we'll have to stealth through many mannequins that seem like your average Nintendo fans.
This is so fun that I am coming back tomorrow with more money.
I love ICG and I will subscribe. Well, that was all. Each time the power goes off, we also need to go back and fix the puzzle again. After 3 times and a totally not rigged wheel spin. Big Top is tasked with paying child services, and where the fuck is he? Okay, well, in the big area Big Top stood in are multiple mannequins from before, but now with codes on the back. I don't care about the code though, since I have this handy dandy spreadsheet. The numbers on the back don't change, by the way. Then we finally get access to the Data Diver Creator upgrade, with which we can open the door to the rooftop, where we'll just need to— What the fuck is that? Yeah, you bet that this is the second chase sequence. And bad news, we can't even make it past the first stairwell. Just kidding, you can, it's pretty close though. After that staircase we need to go through the rooms Big Top doesn't block off with his hands. While a bit close we can still make it to the second part of the chase sequence. Well, let's just say we've hit another wall. And I won't beat around the bush this time, we yet again need to sprint. No, I haven't gone into the code with this quiz. Quite frankly, I cannot read code, but I have a theory on what's going on here. My best guess is that there is some sort of kill timer, which only gets reset if you've hit a certain trigger. These trigger resets for Big Top are his hands smashing down, and his kill timer is around 2 to 3 seconds. If you don't hit a reset trigger, he will jump scare you, which could be what happens here, maybe, I'm not sure. Even if I was to run past this one trigger and continue walking again, I'm still too slow for the rest of the chase. But hold on. there is some good news. So there actually is something we can do to skip this chase. You see, this is somewhat complicated and definitely not doable with the no major glitches rule I've set at the beginning, but for the sake of Sprintless, I'll allow it. Okay, so first up, we can actually skip the entire first minigame part with the help of a ball gun. First up, go to these toms and drums, then stand on the speaker and align your circle to around here. Try to orient yourself with this lighter part of the wood and aim a couple centimeters above it. Or inches if you're weird. Don't worry if you don't get it on the first try, it took me a couple of attempts myself. Then shoot your gun and you should be launched to the gift box at the top of this section. Before continuing though, be sure to enter the correct code on this keypad, then go inside and get the created data diver upgrade like you usually do. But instead of going forward, we actually go back, and now comes the difficult part. Align yourself on this wooden platform like this while looking down completely. Then slightly adjust your camera so that the top of the circle covers about this darker part of the wood, or in between those two. It's a bit finicky, so just try and see what works best for you. And then shoot. Now ideally, you should get launched towards Big Top and fall down while deloading everything. Now I'll get to what you'll need to do once you're in the void in a second. First though, if you land on this big invisible floor, try to inch yourself up the support beam on your right and everything should deload like before. Now just let yourself fall until everything starts to load back in. If you fall endlessly, just quit out and do everything again. But if you hit the floor and everything starts to load back in, this next part is very hardware dependent. So once everything loads in, try to enter this maintenance part of the Dolly Hospital. I never actually made it inside there without sprinting. Maybe you can go and give it a shot yourself. This, by the way, skips a lot of the game, so we'll get to this section properly later on. For now though, this may seem like a dead end, right? And you would be right. Kind of. So initially, the people who found the skip thought that this was a hard lock. A hard lock referring to a situation where the game becomes completely unresponsive and requires a restart of the game or a restart of the entire save file. And they were right. If you'd go too far to the left or forward, you'd get this soft lock screen, where your camera is locked into this position until you either die to Nurse Dolly or restart your game. Now, however, I myself found a way around this. You see, if you crouch and let Dolly start her pathing, then go to where she stood still, follow this path and through a vent until you're at the administrator upgrade, then open this door and grab 2 mice. Throw them each on the floor and let the door close. Now just throw one of them into the chute. This now gives you a little save point. Remember to keep the other one because we'll need it now. So make your way towards this door, which can only be opened by Dolly. A Dolly door, if you will. Throw this mouse just far enough so that Dolly keeps the door open, but not too close so that she'll see you. Then go through the Dolly door and slowly inch yourself to this locked door. Only because we got the creator upgrade from before, we are able to access this. And that's pretty much it. Now just go to the maintenance part of this section and continue like usual. But wait, we aren't here yet. That time skip is way too much and we skipped a lot. But we now know that Big Top's chase can actually be beaten without sprinting. I actually discovered all this stuff down in the Dolly part myself, so I know I say it a bit too much, but please subscribe. I was ecstatic when I found this, and the one sprint at the start of the game may just be the only sprint we'll have to do. But the game isn't done yet, so at least for now, let's wind all the way back to the big fall with Big T. Conveniently, back at the main hub, we report back to Andy, where we are told to get the admin upgrade in the theater via walking through the workshop. Inside the workshop, we build our very own Springlock suit. Never had a Springlock suit hurt anybody. To build the safest Springlock suit that ever existed, we need to collect 2 arms, 2 legs and a head, all the while hiding from the mimic via stealthing. Even if you were to die, the checkpoints in here are very generous. Thank God it's not deathless. 10k likes and I'll do this deathless. Anyway, once we fully build our very own Springlock suit, we can climb inside it. The next area is a very chill pause from the mimic, since we only need to do 1 puzzle and get back inside our Springlock suit. Now there's a small puzzle introducing us to, well, I don't know what to call this actually. A magnet, arm, moving puzzle thingy, whatever. It'll come back later. Past this is a very cool theater show about boat parties and pirates. Since we only stand around and shoot targets, it really isn't a challenge for me. It all goes back to some sort of pirate thing where we shoot targets, isn't it? However, once all the theater show falls apart and we fall down into Nurse Dolly's lair, the difficulty of Sprintless finally ramps back up. As we wake back up, we're introduced to a new character, Kind of. Just forget what I told you before, okay? Well, anyway, we're introduced to Nurse Dolly's hospital. Since we're inside the suit, however, she sees us as a disgusting foreign object and will try to kill us. Past this is a proper Nurse Dolly introduction, but this time for an out-of-context viewer.
Say hello, Nurse Dolly.
Hello, Nurse Dolly.
In this next section, Dolly will be sliding across metal rails while also being charged with electricity. If she ever touches us during this, we will get jump scared. So first off, we need to open the vent and get a little gear, which usually shouldn't be hard as long as we wait for her to go past us, giving us the perfect opportunity to grab the gear without her jump scaring us. Next up, place the gear in its slots, but don't rush to the computer just yet. Instead, wait until she passes us while going from the left to the right side. If you go as soon as she comes from the right to the left, you will not have enough time to get to the PC. If you can't get her to go from the left to the right, just get jump scared and immediately follow her. Now open the door and get ready for another hard section. This part doesn't seem familiar at all. How odd. Now Dolly can freely move around as she very forcefully took off her shoes. We're now forced to go into this small section of a hospital. Okay, I'll drop the act. We're back at where we left after the huge big top chase skip. Since I haven't explained this part before, I will now. So here we aren't able to go back the way we came, and the much bigger problem with this area is Dolly. She has a very weird pathing in this section where she'll only spawn in once you've reached a certain trigger. When she then spawns in, she'll only patrol a certain part of this section, which isn't ideal. Now in a normal run you could just activate the noise distraction, run and cover behind this desk, and then power up the generator that lets us access the vent. This gets completely thrown out of the window if our top speed is 2 miles per whenever. So if you try to turn on the noise distraction and calmly walk over to the locker, she will get us. Now I thought just to walk past her and hide in the locker you'd usually hide in, but you should not be able to do this. Normally, at least. Even if we do this, we can't do anything because of Dolly's shit pathing. The only way we get Dolly to stop doing her normal pathing is to activate a noise distraction. So if we activate the generator, go inside the locker and abuse the mimic's behavior, which, if you remember, does not see us and hear us as easily if he's distracted, haul ass to the generator nice and calmly, yank that shit and go into the vent. And the difficulty does not go back down. If we keep following the vents, we enter a cool section in which we can activate the access to the rest of the doll hospital. To be able to leave this doll hospital, we need to gain access to the power reactor core, which only starts activating if we throw 6 different cubes into the trash chute. These 6 cubes can spawn in many different spots. If you haven't totally super unloaded your way here, you should also get that admin permission data diver thingy upgraded permission gainer thingy, whatever it's called. And just like before, but a little different, you can grab 6 mice and throw them all down into the trash chute. Once we shove them all down in the hole where mice shouldn't go, we can access the other maintenance part of the hospital. In this part we need to throw parts of trash at Dolly. In case you're audio only, this is a very cool and action-packed shooter where we throw shit at Dolly's stupid face. We also see Dolly get absolutely incinerated off screen. Anyways, activate the power reactor core and go down 2 big elevators, where I can finally be happy that Dolly is dead and will never return. Oh, not a big deal, just walk away and... oh shit. I won't yap for another 6 minutes again, since you know what's going to happen. It happened twice before, and I guess chases are just the end of Sprintless. Psych! There isn't just one, but 2 ways to beat this chase without sprinting. You can either completely stop Dolly from spawning if you get on top of the first elevator via lever storage, jump on this railing and then jump down from it, or do what I did in my run and use lever storage on the second elevator and start the chase a couple seconds earlier, since Dolly still takes her time to get out of the molten lava. However, when the game deloads, be careful as to not walk into the deloaded area, as you may fall down into the endless void. For now, just walk onto the conveyor belts and go onto a vent, where which we are finally done with a chase that doesn't require us to do a totally not insane glitch. Okay, let's continue with jogging the generator and falling down this part. Now we're completely free of Nurse Dolly. This time it's literally just a stealth section though, perfect for Sprintless. Just sneak through this area while waiting for Dolly to complete her rounds. Literally not a big deal if you just take your time. Now go into the elevator, shut the door quickly, and we finally got rid of Dolly. Now just wait inside the elevator until you...
Hello, employee. From the bottom of our hearts.
Well, at least it's not Dolly. Simply just fix the elevator, we've done it before, not a big deal. Finally, once the elevator goes back up, just wait inside the elevator and... Oh my god. Okay, time to get rid of her. Same deal as before, but this time change the elevator speed to fast and watch Dolly get completely squished. Oh my god, is that the mimic? This was genuinely the first time I've seen this, by the way. Hence the reaction I had while recording this.
Nurse Dolly. Did you. What, the mimic?
Which is also a good time to mention that the entirety of this recording is on my VODs channel or in the description as a proof video. It is also fully commentated live by yours truly, including my practice attempts on Jackie and Big Top, though without the mentioned strats I found later, aka Jackie off and Big Top skip. So be sure to watch it after this video. For now though, go back to the main hub and talk to Andy Field, I mean the dispatch. Since we have the administrator privileges, we can now finally access the admin wing where the executive upgrade is located. To get there though, we need to first navigate our way throughout the warehouse. Little info if you made it here with the Big Top skip, you may notice that this cutout of a squid has not disappeared. Well, that's because we didn't hit the trigger for the end of the Big Top chase. If you were to hit the trigger right now, it would also not make the cutout disappear. It would just start up the dispatch voice line. But thankfully, there are two ways to get inside the warehouse. That is through this main hallway. Sometimes you see that the second door is locked. If that happens, just reload the area via going in and out of the workshop. Then it should be open. Now back to the original run. Inside said warehouse, we yet again see the mimic, but in a Chica costume. Apparently William and Henry are the least creative people on Earth, and it gets even better than that, but we'll get there when we'll get there. First off, here we need to collect 3 pieces of a puzzle since the machine does not work without them. These are located in a train cart that needs to be brought down via lever, another is behind this rocktopus, and the final piece is on a stack of boxes, again needing to be brought down with a crank. Once we've collected all of them, we need to do the puzzle that opens the door to the loading bay. The loading bay is where we see an upgraded version of the conveyor puzzle thingy from before. Let me know what that machine is called, by the way, in the comments. I'd love to know. It's also way bigger this time, and you can actually die if you don't time your movement fast enough. It's really not that difficult though. All these parts can be traversed without sprinting, so just rearrange them from both sides correctly and be prepared to lose your hearing. After clearing this room, we finally get to the admin wing, and let me just say, this next area is probably one of the worst areas in this game, but only if you're going for 100%. Since we're not doing that, this area isn't all too bad. You see, there are 2 aspects in the admin wing that give it its reputation. First off, all the cupcakes that are just glorified noise machines. They can, in fact, kill you if you activate too many or get too close. Then there's Chica, who somehow has the worst pathing ever. So you see, it feels like she'll sometimes just kill you inside a locker, sometimes she won't. No matter if she's seen you on a long or short range. All things considered, this area isn't that bad. You can also go inside this room, wait for Chica to open a shortcut, and just go traverse this area throughout that. Another fun strat is using a locker exploit, where you open the locker, let it close on you, and then spam shift to get on top of it. Then just drop from it and go up the stairs. Also remember this skip, it'll be very important later on. Now once we go up these stairs and through one vent, we finally get what we came in here for. That is first getting the executive privileges, and with those we are able to access the mimic blueprints. Unfortunately, the mimic is not too fond of me getting his spicy photos, so it's time to haul ass. For no apparent reason, we go down into the basement level, which is a good time to look at the mimic's photos and god damn! Oh my bad, G. Hey, I guess we're in the next area already. This is the basement area, which will be the last hurdle before accessing the ending. So as long as we get through this without running, we'll be fine. In this basement hides Tiger Rock. Is this also the mimic, or is this David? Who knows? Or get more and more aggressive and closer the longer you stay in the dark. So as long as you take your time and go from one light to another, he won't be able to kill you. Thankfully, Steelbow made these lights just close enough to each other that you'll be able to go through this sprintless. Then just do all this 2 more times, and finally, you've reached the end of the Tiger Rock part. Now just go inside the elevator, go up to the security hub, and hand over your data diver. And that's it. Walk to your van and you've completed the bad ending. With all but just 1 5-second sprint. But not so fast, even though I said it doesn't matter which ending we get, I still want to test one more ending. You see, it doesn't change the 1 mandatory sprint we have to do, but there's a ton of extra content, so I'd like to check that. And with that, let's rewind time and not hand over the data diver. Instead, let's run the parachute.exe program, which opens a secret vent. And our good pal Andy Dispatch tells us that I'm in fact not a good dog. So with a broken heart, we start the goodbye show, which lets us enter the secret elevator. This secret elevator also reintroduces us to Big Top, who we technically haven't killed yet, so it's pretty nice to see him. This elevator also stops a couple times, but it's pretty easy to just switch the levers. With that, we can enter R&D, or the research and development part of Edwin's costume manor. Now we see a couple old friends like the big old Freddy head from Security Breach, and apparently the FNAF 1 location. Lore significance aside, if you run the activate stage lights command at the monitor, we wake up the mimic animatronic amalgamation. Our task now is to put 4 spring-lock stage animatronics on 4 different red sensors that drain the power of the building. Those include first Bork and Monty, who then get us access to both Spring Bonnie and Fredbear. Once all 4 animatronics are where they need to be, the power completely shuts off, where we finally meet the voice who has been guiding us the entire time. And apparently it's Fiona, or M1, or F10-N4. I don't really know, to be honest. Okay, so I may be stupid, but I just realized that F10-N4 spells Fiona. Oops, I should have noticed that. Anyways, Fiona was actually the wife of Edwin, which is pretty good to know. She tasks us with finding Edwin by going through his old house, which we of course will. Past the secret tunnel, we get access to a secret roller coaster ride with a very prototype helper telling us stuff. Again, if you're audio only, really exhilarating ride, trust me. After that, we go up the elevator and take a look at Edwin's secret house. Inside this house, we need to find 5 different birthday film reels, while also needing to hide from the mimic amalgamation. So where didn't I go yet? Here? It sounds like we going. These film reels only show us that Edwin really was a deadbeat dad to both his son and wife. Also, the mimic is a woman? Well, son of a bitch. Beside that, at the end of each tape is a number. Align those numbers with the colors on the Polaroid and put those in the big number lock upstairs. Unlock that and head up to Edwin's old office and finally start the Cradle.exe program. Similar to Cradles, if you know, you know. Everything will be put on fire, which also starts the big mimic chase. This chase is split into 3 main sequences. The first part is relatively easy if you just jerk the generator fast enough. The Mimic 2 is rather slow, at least for now. Once the elevator goes down, you see a running trash can, a part of the Trash Buddies. Very original that. Down the elevator we can activate the second part of the mimic chase via a big red button. While seemingly very close being at the start of the pipes, there's no way to go through this part sprintless. And I even spent over an hour playing through the entire game again to get a ball gun to this part. But wouldn't you know it, it was not meant to be. Because the game just decides to disintegrate my ball gun right from my dirty old man hand.
Since we had a chance to talk, I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Where the fuck is my gun?
You are still trying. You
Give me
need.
my fucking gun back.
I watched you grow up. Through the
My
vision.
gun! No! I tried getting the gun here so I could jump over this gate, Big Top skip style, but the game did not like me doing that. I don't know if there's some sort of way to teleport this gun here or whatever. You could try and do this yourself and drop the gun on the floor, but I'm, at least for now, not wasting another hour of my life. The farthest I've ever come was the start of the crouch section, where you still need a couple seconds to walk forward while the ceiling collapses, which I thought was very predictable, but there's still a bit left, so we'll just put one more sprint on the list. After walking underneath the pipes, we lever storage this, then get access to a small checkpoint. Now you can use lever storage on this, which isn't really necessary, and get ready for the last big part of the chase. When this time we aren't being chased by the mimic, but by many little trash buddies. This section is where perfect movement is key. It took a lot of attempts of perfect movement, and sadly, the farthest I ever went up this chase was the lever at the end. Literally the last part of this chase that opens the door to the end. Everything after this door is possible sprintless. If only I had a couple seconds, this would easily be doable. So sadly, another sprint has to be added onto our counter. And that's basically just it. Now just ride this attraction and walk towards your car without any big problems. After totally not crashing because of the mimic, we conclude the true ending run with a total of 3 sprints. Which again does suck, but wait a minute, there was something I mentioned twice before. So let us rewind all the way back to the start of the run, where we just came into the building. You see, there's a fun trick you can do. Essentially, we're going on top of this locker, similar to what we did in Chica's section. Set this FPS box to unrestricted, then press F11 to window the application, F11 again to put it back into full screen, and suddenly, would you look at that, we play with with uncapped FPS. You see, this game only runs on 30 or 60 FPS, nothing above that. But we actually need more than that to pull off this skip, because we are going to locker deload. That has us going up this box and slightly to the right. Remember that, don't just fall straight down, just go a little bit to the right. Then wait about a second and start spamming the escape key until you load into the end of the roller coaster ride from the true ending. And that's it. Now you can nonchalantly walk towards your truck and get inside, because here we can finally answer the question you've been waiting for. Can you beat Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic without sprinting? Yes. Yes, you actually can. So with that, we have beaten the entirety of FNAF Secret of the Mimic without running. Well, most of it. Now I knew that most people would not like me beating this game like that, but I still wanted to show off how fast new games can be broken, especially Steelbook games. Aside from that, the bad ending forces us to sprint on just one occasion, being relatively at the start of Jackie's chase. Sadly, as of writing this script, which is literally only a couple days after release, there's still no way to skip this part sprintless. And for the true ending, we will still need 3 sprints. Unless we use the locker deload, in which case that would be 0 sprints. Also, if you're curious, the secret ending would actually only need 2 sprints, since you have to beat the entire game once and then play all the way back to the parachute ending while collecting all of these collectibles. Meaning you would have to do both the Jackie sprints and the big top skip twice. But other than that, I really did have a fantastic time with this run. If you also had fun watching this, then why not like and subscribe? I love doing challenge runs and challenges in general, so if you want to see more, you know what to do. You could also follow my Twitter. The full original run with no major glitches, meaning 2 sprints, as well as the run with 0 sprints, are up on my VODs channel. Lastly, I'd quickly like to shout out all of these incredible people for finding so many cool skips, as well as Spiff for showing lots of strats I haven't seen before. Lastly, to conclude the longest outro I've ever done, another fun challenge run I did should be on screen now, so you can check that out if you want. For now, however, this has been your host, ICG, signing off.